In the dusty village of Agpara, where the sun baked ambition into cracked earth, lived a young man named Kelechi. He owned nothing but patched clothes, a rusty bicycle, and a heart that refused to stop dreaming. One evening the royal procession passed through the market square. Princess Adi's daughter of King E stepped down from her decorated palanquin to buy mangoes. Their eyes met for exactly 3 heartbeats. She smiled politely. Kelechi forgot how to breathe. From that single glance, he was ruined in the best and worst way. He began leaving small gifts at the palace gate. A perfect orange picked at dawn, a carved wooden bird, a poem scratched on palm leaf. The guards laughed. The townspeople whispered. Then they acted. They called him the beggar who lusts after royalty. They spat when he passed. One market day, the butcher's son and 3 friends cornered him behind the palm wine stall. "You think royal blood will wash poverty off you?" they sneered. Fists flew. Boots followed. When they finished, Kelechi lay tasting blood and dust, ribs screaming, one eye already swelling shut. The crowd watched. No one helped. Hunger came next. The petty traitors who once gave him day-old yam now turned their backs. "Feed the king's future son-in-law," they mocked. Nights became longer than days. He slept under the big iroko tree, stomach clawing itself empty, listening to the palace drummers announce feasts he would never taste. The worst humiliation arrived on the morning of the New Yam Festival. The king had announced a public contest. Any man bold enough could declare his intention to court the princess. If 3 tasks were completed: fetch water from the forbidden river gorge, climb the sacred palm without rope, recite the royal lineage perfectly, the suitor would be considered. Kelechi staggered forward in rags, face still bruised purple. The entire village roared with laughter. "Beat him again!" someone shouted. "Teach the rat his place!" Stones flew. A rotten pawpaw burst against his cheek. The royal guards dragged him away before the king could even speak. They threw him outside the town gate like refuse. That night, under moonlight, Adi slept out of the palace. She found him curled beside the river, shivering, lips cracked. She knelt in the mud, princess in silk touching filth, and pressed a small pouch into his hand. "Gold," she whispered, "not for pride, for survival. Leave this place tonight. Live, then come back when you can stand tall." Kelechi looked at her through tears and dirt. "If I return rich, will you still see me?" She touched his busted lip gently. "I already see you." He left at dawn. 7 years passed. Lagos swallowed him. First he hawked recharge cards in traffic, then repaired phones, then imported them, then built a small chain of shops, then invested in real estate. Hunger had taught him numbers. Humiliation had taught him patience. Beatings had taught him not to flinch. By year 7, newspapers called him the quiet millionaire from nowhere. On a humid August evening, a black Range Rover rode back into Agpara. The same dusty square, the same big iroko tree. Kelechi stepped out, tailored suit, calm eyes, no trace of yesterday's beggar. The village froze. He walked straight to the palace gate. This time the guards saluted. Inside the throne room, King Is rose slowly. Kelechi bowed. "Your Majesty, I have come to ask again for your daughter's hand." Gasps rippled through the hall. The king studied the man who once crawled out of his kingdom broken. Then he looked at Adis, who stood beside the throne, eyes shining, exactly as they had 7 years ago. The king smiled small, knowing. You kept your word, he said. You returned standing tall. The wedding drums shook the village for 3 days, and somewhere in the crowd that once threw stones, people whispered, "That was a boy we broke." Kelechi only held Adizi's hand tighter. Love, he learned, is not the absence of suffering. It is what remains when everything else has been stripped away. What about you? Have you ever loved someone so fiercely that you endured hell just to reach them again? Drop one word in the comments, yes or no, and tell me in a sentence what you were willing to survive for love. I read every story.